It is 1450 AM, ESPN, KVEN. Welcome back. It is Bo's Man Cave. Bo Jackson here, S-Dub, MJ, KJ. Woo! It is a Monday. We're all recovering from the weekend. Hopefully you had a good time. Catch you up on all the great sports here locally. In fact, we're real excited. Cobi Jones is joining us right here. Cobi, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, guys. How are you?
Super. Graduated from Westlake High, played for UCLA, original member of the LA Galaxy. I mean, you've done the U.S. national soccer team. Pretty much you've done soccer all your life there, Cobi, haven't you?
I guess you could say that. And, I was playing it since I was 5 years old and just kind of continued straight on through. It's been good to me.
And we think you could still play if you want to come out of retirement. We'll create a Bo's Man team.
I was thinking of doing a little Brett Favre,
Yeah, there you go.
Coming back.
We'll start our own league, Bo's Man Cave soccer team. Cobi Jones, we'll bring him out of retirement. Right now, you're currently the Associate Director of Soccer for the New York Cosmos, and you got big things because the Cosmos are playing against Manchester United in England this Friday, right?
Correct. We are, participating in Paul Scholes' testimonial match, so that's a big coup for us, a big honor, being the first American club team to play over at Man United against Manchester, at Old Trafford. So that's huge. That's huge for us, and it's kind of coming out for the Cosmos too, kind of a celebratorial match for us as well.
And you could definitely check that out on Fox Soccer Channel. That's going to be 11:30 on the West Coast here. So check it out. New York Cosmos there, Manchester United, and over there they are paid big money, like bigger than our NFL players, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, who knows with the new collective bargaining that the NFL did now. But, yeah, they're paid big money over there overseas. It's the number one sport. Everyone watches it. The Premier League is the number one league in the world. So you're going to get the best players, playing on the best team. So naturally you're going to draw, a lot of talent that's going to demand a high price.
Cobi Jones here, Westlake High graduate, was playing in 3 World Cups, 94, which was in the USA, 98 in France, 2002 in Korea, Japan there, and the Olympics. Where was your favorite place to play?
Out of all the places I've been, some of the most strange, exciting for me, I'd say I loved playing in Japan, in Tokyo, and I loved Saudi Arabia. Funny enough, it was a total experience there, even outside of the sport. Made it one of those things that's going to stick in my mind forever. As far as just the actual soccer aspect, I'm playing, obviously anytime that I played in Europe, be it in Germany or France, those are special because it's close to the beginnings of soccer.
In Saudi Arabia, how hot was it, though, when you were playing? Did they have an indoor stadium, or, were you just blistering?
It was very hot. Very hot. And the strangest thing, in Saudi Arabia is when you look into the stands and, everywhere I looked, it was just all men. No women allowed, at the games. But it was very interesting and very different. And that's one of the reasons it stands out, But obviously, one of the other places that I failed to mention, which is shocking, playing in Wembley, is absolutely unbelievable, representing the U.S. against England, way back in the day. I think that was 95, I believe.
The soccer culture, how does it differ in Japan and in Saudi Arabia to the U.S.? Because those are 2 places you don't really expect soccer to be a huge sport.
Well, exactly. I was representing the national team at those times, so obviously everyone's going to come out and want to see the game and, represent, cheer on their country. As far as the difference in the U.S., I think it's actually kind of similar as far as they're burgeoning countries as far as the sport goes, and everybody's trying to build. Thankfully, I believe that we've kind of came out of the fray a little bit higher over the past years, that we've become, I think, more of a soccer powerhouse in the world than the other two. And hopefully over these next few years, especially with the changes that are happening with U.S. soccer, that we continue to move forward.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that. With Jurgen Klinsmann now being the head coach of the U.S. national soccer team, he's been in the mix for a while for the past couple coaching changes. What are your thoughts on him coming in and taking the helm?
I know Jurgen personally, and I think it's a great decision. He's obviously been very successful on the national level, club level, as not only a player but as a coach. So I think he's going to do an excellent job, coming in here. For me, I think the best thing is that you have someone that has done it and seen it all. There's no one that can, I think, bring the team together better than he can, because there's no one that, you can't, as you know, with any team and group, there's always some people that say, well, this and this and this, and no one can really approach them and say, well, you haven't done it. This is something that I think will kind of bond the players with the coach, and the coach with the players, and hopefully more so than anything, the players with each other.
There you go. Cobi Jones here, Westlake High graduate, and of course keeping real busy right now, Associate Director of Soccer for the New York Cosmos, who are playing this Friday at Manchester United for all the action. Check it out, Fox Soccer Channel at 11:30 Pacific Time. You also just got inducted into National Soccer Hall of Fame earlier this year, first year of eligibility.
Gotta like that, huh?
Yeah, congratulations.
It's like swinging it out of the park. I hit a home run on my first swing. So I was pretty happy with that. That I got into the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much. I appreciate you mentioning that. It's kind of surreal because it kind of lets me know that people have appreciated everything that I've done, over the years as a player and what I've given back to the sport. So it was an honor for myself and all the others that were inducted with me.
And what do you get? A plaque, a ring, a T-shirt, a hat? I mean, what do you get?
You get a big thank you very much.
Really? Okay.
They are putting together a ring for me. They did ask for my ring size, so I imagine a ring will be coming my way, and you get a nice bright red sports coat that you can wear probably once a year whenever you go back to someone else's induction, and that's about it.
Kind of like the green jackets at the Masters. You don't wear that often. You just wear it once a year back at the tournament.
You're just going to frame it or just hang it up somewhere.
Listen, do you have a soccer cave at home, a man cave at home?
I do not have that. I've never been the type that has just like all my soccer stuff all over the place. I have been pushed into one room, now that I have my son here. It's a new baby boy, so my game room and what you could have called was my shrine room is turned into a baby room, and now I'm just in my little office. Everything's packed in there all junky and messed up.
Congratulations.
Slowly pushed out of the garage.
Right. Congratulations. How old's your son?
7 months.
Have you teach him to start kicking yet?
I've been working his left foot already.
Left foot. There you go.
That's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Start him young. So you think it's a good move to bring in the new coach? And did you play against him?
I did in the World Cup. I did play against Jurgen, and he scored against us, unfortunately. But that hasn't affected our relationship at all. I have a good relationship with him over the years, and like I said, I think it'll be good for the national team. It's going to be bringing in some new blood, new vision, new direction. I think that's what's needed right now. Though I do give Bob a lot of credit. He did do a lot of good things. Over the years, people tend to forget that always towards the end when someone gets fired. But that's the nature of sports, and we all expect that and understand that. But let's be honest. If they had won the Gold Cup, would we even be having this discussion right now? Probably not.
No. As someone who grew up playing soccer in the Southern California area, what do you think the soccer community needs to do to grow, to put up a competition, if you want to say, in terms of popularity to the Premier League or some of the other top leagues around the world?
Well, I think just the sport needs to be embraced more, and I think there needs to be patience more than anything else. If you look at our youth programs now, our under 15s and 16s, these academies that we have now, compete with the academy teams overseas, and we do well, and we beat some of these top teams. It's just a matter from that age until the professional, 22, 23, when players start really hitting the professional ranks, we tend to lose out a little bit, and I think that's where we're starting to see the development as you've seen former players go into coaching and starting to take care of the little things. Those are the things important, the tactical and the technical abilities of players. As these tend to grow, and this is why I mentioned patience, you're going to slowly see, I think, that under 15s we're just going to start competing at under 18s and 19s, 20s, and then hopefully, the top clubs here within MLS will be able to compete with the top clubs overseas.
There you go. Cobi Jones hanging out Bo's Man Cave here, 1450 AM ESPN. How about, do you keep up with the women's soccer? What do you think about the World Cup game that was so close, but overtime they didn't do it?
Oh, I thought it was great. It was great for soccer in general, and it was great for the women's sport as well. I thought everyone, jumped on, as we tend to do in the U.S., we jump on the bandwagon when we're winning, so everybody was talking about it and excited about it, and, it was very unfortunate that we didn't, take it all, and I thought the women had a fabulous tournament. They played excellent. Hope was excellent in goal. I'm glad to see that she did so well. She's a friend. I was very happy for them, and if it couldn't be them, why not Japan? The way things have been in that country over the past few years, they needed some type of uplifting moment, and I think that did it for them.
Does it get exhausting, tiring playing that many overtime, high-pressure games in a row? Does it wear on you as much as people say it does?
It does. It does wear on you playing the extra minutes because, instead of that 90 minutes, you're doing 120. You're just exhausted, and the amount of time in between these games isn't enough to really get a full recovery. So as you go through a tournament, the longer you're playing, it just wears more and more. So you don't feel nearly as fresh towards the end as you did at the beginning. That being said, if you're in a final of any type of tournament, I think at that point, it's all just, energy and just hype, and you're running on fumes anyways. And I think everyone's running on fumes, and it's just all about that desire and everything at the end. You find a way to get through.
Cobi Jones here with us, Westlake High grad, also played for one of the original members of the LA Galaxy, U.S. national soccer teams, World Cup teams. Who was the best trash talkers you played against? And if so, if it was a foreign language, was that not fair? You're like, hey, what are you calling me?
Well, let me tell you something. The funniest thing is you do have a lot of people, talk trash to you, and on the international level, I would say name any of the players on the Mexican team that I played against, they were always talking in Spanish to me. A lot of things that I can't say on the air in English or in Spanish, because a lot of people will understand it.
Right.
But outside of that, one of the best trash talkers ever was actually Eric Winalda. And anybody that's played with him could tell you, and they'd agree with me 100%. He knew how to get under your skin and talk some serious trash, be it to another American player or to a foreign player. He knew what to say,
And you probably played him a couple times just growing up in the area, right?
Oh yeah, I mean we went to high school together.
Right.
We were in high school together, played against each other in college, played with each other in the national team, played against each other in MLS and everything. So yeah, we've had a lot of times, for and against.
So you loved him when he was on your team, so you didn't have to hear it, right?
Exactly. When he's on your team, it was a lot better, because then it was just like, okay, let someone else deal with it for now.
Now, right now, you're the Associate Director of Soccer for the New York Cosmos, going to be playing against Manchester United, the first American squad to be playing over at their home stadium. Capacity's like 75,000 people. What's the biggest crowd you've ever played in front of? And when you get past that 50,000 mark, does it really make a difference?
You know what? I would usually say gets past the 50,000 mark, you usually think it doesn't make a difference. But when you get to a stadium that's completely full, and you get to like a standing room only, and that's where I'm going with the biggest crowd, and I would have to say it was probably an Azteca Stadium in Mexico for a qualifier, where it was like 100-some thousand, where it was just nuts, standing room only, burning effigies of us as we're walking out to check out the game before warm-up. 50,000 in the stadium before we've even warmed up, as the bus gets there. I mean, that tells you how crazy it was down there. That's another level. But I think when we get to Man United and we get to Old Trafford, I think it's going to be an amazing atmosphere there. I mean, everyone's going to be out for this celebration, for the Cosmos, but also for, obviously, Paul Scholes' testimonial. I think it's going to be a special moment for anyone that's played soccer to be able to walk out on Old Trafford and check out the field and, be a part of it.
Cobi Jones, let's be honest. Are you a fan of the horn, or do you think they should be outlawed, these horns at the soccer games?
You know what the funny thing is? When you're playing out on the field, you don't even notice.
Really?
You don't even notice. But from my friends and family that have been at games and those horns are going and it's going off in their ear, I got to say I wouldn't be a fan of that. The good old vuvuzelas, they like to call them now. Not the best situation, I think.
Yeah, I think earphones or earplugs got to be a good seller there.
Oh, yeah, it's a huge seller at that time. I mean, vuvuzelas going off in your ear. How are you supposed to concentrate on the game when that's going on? So I would say no. I'm not a fan of that. I might have an adverse reaction to someone blowing that in my ear. I might turn around and grab the horn and chuck it on the field.
Look out.
Well, if you're going to go that route, I mean, you played in Europe for a little bit. Any soccer riots?
I have been in the one situation down in Haiti. I was in a game where after the game we had won during an Olympic qualifier. The fans weren't too happy about that, so we had to wait in the center of the field for them to clear out the stadium. Then we went into our locker room, and then after when we were in the locker room, all the fans tried to break into the locker room and they actually ended up breaking in and rushing towards the players, and all the cops that were in the locker room came out with their billy clubs and started beating the fans back out of the locker room. So, and this was when I was a good old 22, 23, so that was a little bit of an eye-opening moment to say that this is what I was getting into playing in this sport.
Wow, Cobi Jones with the Westlake High, UCLA, all this international play. The poor guy's looking for groupies on the road. He's got people coming in rioting. What?
It's a different sport and a different animal.
Yes, it is. That definitely wasn't on the bucket list, so you're glad it's scratched off now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can at least say I've seen that and been a part of that.
Wow. Well, listen, we wish you the very, very best with your team there now, the New York Cosmos, and you're going to be headed over to Man United. Do you like any food over there in that English area in England?
Beans and toast.
Beans and
toast.
Beans and toast, of course. Come on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing over that. Good old-fashioned British meal right there.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds dangerous in our man cave here. Beans and toast, and we're in here for 2 hours together? Dangerous.
Be careful.
Yes. Definitely, we're going to be watching and reminding all our listeners, Fox Sports, Fox Soccer Channel this Friday night, 11:30. You can check it out. New York Cosmos taking on Man United. We appreciate your time, and when you get back, maybe you come in to the cave live one day and hang out and teach us some kicking skills.
I'd love to. Not a problem.
Cobi Jones there. We really appreciate it. And if you're ever doing any charity work with UCLA or Westlake or anybody, you let us know. We'll get the word out.
Okay, will do. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a super day.
Take care.
All right.
Thanks, man.
It is KVN. It is 1450 AM ESPN.